Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Leslie Chandler and I'm a creative spirit and an Etsy shop owner since 2010. My mission here is to help others with tips and strategies to improve their Etsy shop and ultimately increase their sales. So today we're going to be talking about mock-ups. I don't know if you know what a mock-up is, but I didn't know, and I have some funny stories to share about that. But we're going to first talk about what a mock-up is and how they can help you decrease costs in your shop and increase revenue. Second, I'm going to show you how I make my mock-ups. I know there's a lot of different ways out there, but this is the way that I have found that works best for me. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of show you some of those mock-ups I have in my shop in action. As I promised you earlier, I'm going to show you something funny that I did before, and this is just one of those learning experiences I don't mind sharing with others, so maybe you can learn from my mistakes. But I came up with this design in my head, and I thought, oh, I just have to make this little bodysuit that says Girl Boss, and I'm even going to match with the little cap. Okay, I thought it was such a great idea, but nobody liked it. I mean, nobody has bought it. It hasn't gotten any kind of traffic no matter what I do. This is just not going well. So basically, I have this little bodysuit with the vinyl already on there. I mean, you can't get it off without making a complete mess, and nobody wants to buy it. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here for you is that it is possible to create a design such as this and try it out digitally before you make one, so that you can see if there is an interest in that product, whereas you won't waste any of your vinyl or your whatever your materials are that you create your item with. Creating custom type things, you know, people like personalization and custom type items. And so I do a lot of t-shirts and bodysuits and graphic design type things that people can customize. So in order to demonstrate that, I would make the product with somebody's name on it. Well, I ended up having this surplus of items that have certain names on it that nobody wants. It's not the right size. It's not their name. So don't do like Leslie did, and pay attention and watch these 6 easy steps to create a mock-up design. So I'm going to take you through the 6-step process that I use to create mock-ups. It's pretty simple. This is a digital mock-up that I made for boys t-shirts that I sell on Etsy. I can add any design to this photo to see what it would look like on a black t-shirt like this one without wasting all of my shirts or my vinyl. I can use this mock-up to show people what their custom request would look like when they email me with certain custom orders. And I can use it to list my items and multiple versions of those items, again, without using all my vinyl and my shirts. Let's get started. Step 1, planning. Got to start with the planning. First, you want to determine what you want that background to be. I use these wood grain looking poster boards that I get at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. They're about $2, and I use them over and over and over. Then you want to determine what types of props, if any, that you want to use in your background. As you can see here on this little boy's t-shirt, I used some of my son's old mini cars, and it was just really colorful and just kind of worked out good. You know, you want to determine, is this item going to be more for boys or more for girls, or is it kind of a gender neutral item? So that will help you determine what kind of props you want to use in your background. All right, so now we're ready for step 2, setting up the scene. First, we want to choose an area with good lighting. Natural light is best. I like to take my pictures out on the back porch in the daylight when the weather cooperates. Sometimes that's not possible, and so in those cases, you can make sure that you take your pictures by a window with good lighting, and it may be that you have to add some other lighting source. This is a good thing to experiment with before you actually start taking the pictures. Then get that background ready. And for me, that's just positioning that wood poster board where it gets the best light, trying to make sure that my item isn't projecting any kind of shadowing. And then add the actual item that you're going to photograph. T-shirt, bodysuit, tote bag, etc. And make sure that that item is not wrinkly and it is free from lint or fuzz or maybe any kind of little smudges. So you want to double check and really look at that item, because I can't tell you how many times I have taken a whole photo shoot and then when I go inside to edit the photos, I see a little piece of fuzz on the sleeve or something like that. So do that first so that you don't have that same issue. Now you want to work on your props and kind of set them up and pose them how you want them to appear in your photo. Get that ready. Now that you're done with all of that, it's time to do the photos. It's time to do the photo work. That's step 3. Start shooting your photos. Try several poses with the props in different positions if you're using props. But do take several photos so you'll have many choices that you can use and different versions you can use on your Etsy listing. Remember, the more photos that you have, the better. Next, we want to make sure that all of our photos are of the highest quality possible. And so you may need to do some editing of your photos. I like to edit my photos in an app called Snapseed. I just find that it's very easy to navigate around in and it's free. And I feel like it does a really good job of making my photos look a lot better. So I'll put the link for that in the description. So once you have edited your photos and you like them and you feel like they look really good, then it's time to upload those photos to your design software. I use Silhouette Studio. Some people have Cricut Studio. So upload those photos to your design software, and I like to keep them in a folder called Mockups just so I can access them pretty easily. So now we're ready for step 4, adding that design to your mock-up photo. So you're going to have to do that in whatever design software that you use. I use Silhouette Studio, and I'm going to do a little demonstration of how I do that. Okay, so I already have my Silhouette Studio opened up, and I went ahead and added my mock-up picture. So it's right here. And I also brought from my library one of my designs. I know you can barely see it here, but this is the design. It's in white that I'm going to move over to this t-shirt. So the way that I do that is, watch, whenever I try to move it, it goes behind the picture, but I want it in front. So I have to select that, and then I have to go up here, I believe it's this one, bring to front, okay? So I'm going to click to bring it to front, and now I'm going to click to drag it over to the design, and whoop. Okay, so there it is, and resize it just a little. And as you can see, my shirt is turned a little bit, so we want to turn this. We want to turn this design a little bit too. So by double clicking on it, we get this little green circle here, and I can tilt the design just a little. And I really think it needs to be tilted just a little bit more. Okay, so I like this, but I want to make sure these two items, the mock-up and the design, are grouped together so that whenever I go to take my picture, or whenever I go to create the JPEG of this or the picture of this, they'll be together. So we want to select both. Maybe we have to select everything as one thing and then group. Good. Okay, so now it's one picture. All right, so now we're ready for step 5, changing the file to an image format. So you might be thinking, oh, I've got this great picture. Why can't I just drag it to my desktop and then upload it to Etsy? The reason why you can't do that is because it's not in the right format. We have to change it to an image format. And so the way I do that is I go to the picture and I click on it, and then you want to go up to choose the printer. There is a printer icon on here. I always forget I can use that. And send to printer. So I'm sending this item to the printer. Well, we're not actually going to print it, okay? We're going to save it as a PDF. And the way you do that is, once your printer and everything comes up, come down here to this little drop down and choose Save as PDF. Then it's going to ask you to give it a title and where do you want to save it. So I'm going to say mockup number 2, because this is actually number 3 for this purpose. And I want it to save to my desktop. I'm not going to give it a title right now, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, so now we can see that the item that I just saved as a PDF to my desktop is here. So here's that item. Now what we need to do is change it from PDF format to an image. So that means we need another app. I downloaded this one yesterday. I've been using another one called PDF Mate, but it was $29, and so I decided that this one might be better because it's free. So download Clever PDF app or whichever one you choose to use. All right, so remember we're changing this PDF to an image. So first thing that opens up when you open up this app is this page. And you can convert PDFs to many different formats, but for this purpose, we're doing PDF to image. Okay, and so when we clicked on that, the first thing that comes up is this little screen. So what we want to do is we want to add something. So we click on the add button, and that takes a bit. And we want to choose the item that we want to add. And this is mockup number 3. Right here, and then click Start. So now it is processing and changing this to a JPEG. And I already told it to save this item to my desktop. So now that it's done, I should be able to see this item as a JPEG on my desktop. So the item will show up in a folder, and we just click on the folder to open it up. And there is my JPEG. So now you can see I have a JPEG. Now we're ready for step 6, and that one's easy. All we have to do is use this photo to upload to our Etsy. And that's it. That's all you have to do. 6 easy steps to create mock-ups for your Etsy shop. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you'll come back. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.